The lawyer called at 7:14 a.m. Not a voicemail, not a missed call. A real voice. Calm, professional, careful with every word, like he already knew what this would do to me. "Are you sitting down?" he asked. I wasn't. I never sit for bad news anymore. Outside my apartment window, December moved like it didn't care about family or holidays or blood. Cars passed. People laughed. Somewhere, someone was wrapping gifts. My phone vibrated again. Another call. My mother. I let it ring. 3 weeks earlier, she had looked at me across the dining table like I was a stain she couldn't scrub out. "Don't come for Christmas," she said. Her voice was soft, controlled, final. "We'll pretend we don't know you." My brother didn't even look ashamed. "Just stay away," he added. "It'll be easier for everyone. Everyone except me." I stayed home like they asked. Quiet, obedient, erased, until the lawyer called. "I represent your late father's estate," he said. Late. The word didn't land right away. It hovered, heavy, delayed. "I believe there's been a misunderstanding regarding the will." A misunderstanding. That's what they always call betrayal when it's wearing a suit. After the call ended, I stood there for a long time, phone still warm in my hand, listening to my own breathing. Slow, even, like nothing had changed. But something had. My father hadn't spoken to me in years. Not after my brother moved back home. Not after my mother decided it was the inconvenient reminder of a past she wanted buried. I was the problem child. The distance. The silence. And yet, the lawyer had my number. That night, I opened the old box I'd never thrown away. Tax papers. Handwritten notes. Things my father used to hide from my mother behind the garage shelves. Patterns started forming. Small ones. Quiet ones. A bank transfer here. A signature there. My name. Not my brother's. Mine. I didn't confront anyone. I didn't ask questions. I watched. My mother's sudden panic when she thought she'd lost a document. My brother's forced confidence when money came up. The way both of them avoided the word will. They weren't grieving. They were calculating. And calculations only fall apart when someone knows the numbers. 3 days later, the lawyer emailed me the document. The final version. Signed. Witnessed. Sealed. I read it once. Then again. By the third time, my hands were steady. My phone lit up again. My brother. Calling. For the first time in weeks. I smiled. Not because I was happy. Because I finally understood why they didn't want me home for Christmas. My brother didn't leave a voicemail. He never does when he's scared. By the time I answered his fourth call, I already knew what he'd seen. The will had been unsealed. The money wasn't missing. It had simply never been theirs. I let the phone ring longer than necessary. Long enough for him to imagine every version of me smiling. When I finally picked up, I said nothing. "Listen," he started. Too fast, too careful. "There's been some confusion. Mom's really upset. We just want to talk." Talk. That word always comes right before the truth gets edited. "I'm busy," I said. Calm. Flat. And hung up. The lawyer filled in the rest that afternoon. My father had rewritten the will 2 years before he died. Quietly. Deliberately. After discovering what my mother had been hiding. The affair hadn't been recent. It had been strategic. My brother wasn't just her favorite. He was the proof of loyalty to another man. My father had known. And he'd waited. Every asset, every account, every property that mattered, placed in a trust under my name. With clauses, conditions, safeguards, including one detail that made my chest go cold when I read it. Any attempt to contest the will would trigger a full disclosure audit. Bank records, paternity tests, emails, everything my mother spent decades burying. That night, the calls didn't stop. My mother cried on the third one. Real tears. Desperate ones. "We made mistakes," she said. "Families forgive." I pictured her hands shaking, not from guilt, but from loss of control. "I forgave you years ago," I replied. "That's why this hurts now." Silence. Then anger. "You owe us." My brother snapped when he took the phone back. "You wouldn't even exist without this family." I didn't correct him. I just forwarded the clause to their lawyer. And waited. 2 days later, my mother showed up at my door. No makeup. No confidence. Just a woman shrinking under the weight of her own design. "I didn't think he'd do this," she whispered. "That's because you never thought he was watching," I said. I didn't raise my voice. Didn't accuse. Didn't explain. I didn't need to. The truth had already begun dismantling everything she built. I didn't take the house. I didn't take the cars. I took the silence. I closed the trust. donated what I didn't need, left instructions that ensured they would never touch it, no matter how loudly they screamed. On Christmas morning, my phone was quiet. No calls, no apologies, no family, just clarity. They told me not to come home so they could pretend I didn't exist. Now they know what it feels like to be erased by someone who finally learned the value of staying gone.